Good morning and welcome to Today at the Races. Tim Tulloch joined by Keith Fustel. Keith, our day from yesterday was kind of sunny and warm. It turned a little fallish today.
It did. There's a little chill in the air without a doubt. I mean, we're going to deal with it, though. We're dry. That's the key, as we talked about it leading into the cards yesterday. We had a couple days in a row of just kind of some steady rain around here. We couldn't shake it. So it's dry conditions again today. We're on the turf course, which is great. Fast for the main track. The turf is good. It's going to maybe a little tough to get a really firm turf course the rest of the way, isn't it, Tim? Unless things really kind of dry up and get some sunshine and some wind.
Yeah, no doubt about that. You never root for a drought, but this is time of year. If you're in racing, you're rooting for a drought. You do not want any more rain as the light gets less in the days and the temperature gets cooler. It's harder for that turf to stay in good shape and not get too wet. So rooting for a drought right now, and we'll go from there, and hopefully we can get all the way through November on the grass. Nice card here this afternoon for you, 9-race card with a couple good maiden special weights and a nice allowance race later on today, but let's get going. Let's get going here, Keith. Race 1 does kick off the early pick 5. Mandatory payout, 12% minimum takeout, 50-cent minimum. As always here on the Pick 5. Race 1 is for 3-year-olds and up, which have never won 3 races. This one's going 9 furlongs on the grass this afternoon. Keith, we're going to start with your top pick. That is the 4, Maryland Pride. This is an 8-year-old that's still a non-winners of 3, but he keeps hanging around, and he's had a decent race going 9 furlongs.
He's had some chances, sparingly raced. He's, 4th race back off of a break. And for all of these horses, Tim, in race number 1, it's a bit of a stretch, the mile and an eighth. I think it's going to be kind of a trudge to the wire. Maryland Pride in his most recent race at Pimlico just had a trouble trip. He was stalled in behind horses. It was a really pedestrian type of pace, and he just could not kick on through the final 3/16 of a mile. He's shown willingness at this distance before, even encountering some trouble last year over this turf course, October 3rd of 21. You see that blocked, altered course comment, but willing and closing ground. I think there's going to be a decent enough flow in here with the speed of the 10 Prince. A couple of these other horses I think might keep him honest. Maybe even a horse like Vinny, who's never been on the turf, has shown speed. So let's see if Barbosa, back to action today, can kind of sit that trip covered up and finish here today. Hopefully not stalled, though, at the quarter pole like he was last time out.
I do have the 10 Prince on top. This one's been very good since returning to the races in June with figures that are certainly going to work here up there at Monmouth Park.
Prince, I went back and looked at that last race at Parks, and he was definitely in a little bit of trouble out of the gate. He kind of lunged up, gave a length or two, had to work himself into position. This is a horse that likes to be on the front end. He gets comfortable out there. He'll fight you sometimes. A mile and an eighth might be stretching it, but if he can clear and relax, I think he's going to take this field a long way. But ran credibly after that early trouble last time out.
We both have the 7 in the mix. This is Street Lamp for Ricky Silverman. Laurel Glazer gets the call. Ricky coming off this type of lamp, about 26% work sense. This one was just missed at this level in his last start. Got put up on the DQ.
Street Lamp ran valiant. That's a short comment I gave. Valiant inside foes. I did not expect him to be on the lead. He kind of was a little bit keen, got himself to position, and took on every challenge you could possibly take from the top of the stretch home, and just missed. Tate stepped up off of that, and he went ahead and ran 3rd in a 25-2 in life. I think he might have gone off as a slight favorite, about 9-2. But he keys up against the right kind. I know he was put up in that to get to this condition. There's turf in the family. I've been waiting for this horse. I've been waiting for him to get onto the turf. He did not disappoint last time. I think moving outside a little bit more inside, he'll sit a little further back off of this pace and bring a run into it. Good effort first time on the turf. And there's definite turf in that family.
The 8, Prince of Caps for Claudio Gonzalez. William Humphrey gets the call this afternoon. 2 races on his form right now. One right here at Laurel Park, July 31st, when he just missed at this level.
This is a horse that's had a string of good races in a row, like 5 in a row on the turf. Had a hiccup last time at Monmouth Park. Another one that likes to be forwardly placed. I don't know if he's quite as quick as Prince. He'll stalk that one. Can he bring that final punch after having him make a move into the flow of the 10? I like the 4 as a price shot in here, 9-2, 5-1. If we can get that, we'll go with it.
Race 1 does kick off the early pick 5. Race 2 is for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up. 9 wears a 2 lifetime, going 1 mile on the turf. It starts the early pick 4. Keith, I know you've been getting a little tortured lately on the early pick 4, but let's give it another shot this afternoon.
It's one of these deals where we do hit them sometimes because we've got to put up a little bit more. This is a base. I just don't like putting out a ticket that's going to cost $48, $60. You know,
Sure.
I try to keep it reasonable. We kind of take you there with the structure. Add to it as you like. We talked about it yesterday. Sure enough, right? The 5 horse in the first leg.
Yep.
Go all. Didn't do it. And the horse pays $60. Here's your early pick 4. 2 deep to get you started with the 1 and the 8. Bad Temper. Dia del Sol off of a trouble trip last time out. Race 3 we spread, Tim. Lots of ways to go. These are 2-year-old fillies on the turf sprinting 2, 3, 5, 11, 12. Race 4, 2 deep. 5 in the 6. Johnny French Fry going to come back and give him one more try for Hugh McMahon. Race 5 with the 1 and the 7. A killy start off of some trouble last time out. I think this 6 furlong distance on the turf might hit that one right between the eyes.
We'll get started with my top pick in race 2, and that is the 8, Dia del Sol for Jose D'Angelo. Javion Toledo gets the call this afternoon. This one's dropping for the 3rd consecutive time in search of greener pastures.
We saw Jose D'Angelo win last night's nightcap. I mean, just galloped. I didn't see that coming. Here's another one going. Looks like a drop. I think it's a step sideways class-wise when I kind of key up the competition.
Sure.
Tim did have some issue last time out. Was caught behind a tiring leader, leaving the 3/8 heading to the quarter pole. Shifted out and kept on giving effort. I like that comment by our chart callers up there at Delaware. My man Fisher doing a good job for us. Just started this year. So I think Dia del Sol will get that circling kind of a trip, a stalking trip, and be a factor with Toledo. She will make that run. She's got a tendency of a little flattening out as well. Maybe this kind of gets her over the top. I like the 1.
Yep, you do like the 1. You have the 1 on top, a bad temper for Horace Parker. Angel Cruz gets the call, turning back off a just missed effort, going 9 furlongs in her last start.
It was kind of brought up into that duel, forced its hand a little bit from the inside, battled a long way inside her rival. I think she will get position early. I don't think she's quite as quick as maybe Esperanza to her outside. Go ahead and let Harper's do go. Let those two do the dirty work. I think she can draft up into position and bring a finish.
The 7 is She's a Trip for Carlos Mencia. Georgie Ruiz gets the call. They hit it 20%. This is 3rd off a break for Mencia. The return races have been okay. Yeah,
if you like Bad Temper, I think you're going to have to like She's a Trip. She's a Trip took a little bit more money last time in that race. She had the worst of it. That wide trip every step of the way just didn't bring that punch. She did sit off of a contested pace, but I think she'll improve a little bit off of that last try.
And we know Carlos Mencia, his horses tend to get a little bit better with racing. This one's returned well, and expect maybe a little more improvement this afternoon. Race 2 does kick off the early pick 4. Race 3 is a maiden special weight event going 5.5 furlongs on the turf course. This is for maiden 2-year-old fillies. We're going to start with my top pick. This is a 3 Opus of 42. And we have a video on Opus 42. This is the September 17th race at Pimlico, where he ran a pretty nice race here, Keith.
Tim, we've got some Mendelssohns running today. We've got a few of them on the card, these 2-year-olds, and they are coming out running well, hitting at about 14 to 15% first time out. Opus 42, well prepped, had some trouble a little bit around the turn, took the rating early to 3/8, had to hesitate ever so slightly coming into the stretch, swings out extremely wide, makes a good charge, although just to her inside, the horse that's going to get the better of her is her stablemate, How Lovely, went up to New York. Didn't get real close, but ran an improved number. Ran a 67. Good effort there. Willing. And looking at Delacour with the second time out 2-year-olds on the turf, 25% with this kind of move. So that's good. It's a profitable one as well. $2.66 is that ROI.
Opus 42 will also be getting an extra half furlong this afternoon and this long stretch at Laurel Park. You have the 5, Determined Lily, on top for Phil Schoenthal. This is a first-time starter by Mendelssohn out of a Go Zapper mare that's been working relatively okay up there at Fair Hill.
You wanted to say Schill Foenthal,
yeah,
but
I did.
We didn't quite get Phil Schoenthal right. But this is a reach, Tim. Barbosa was named on Dale Cap's horse. Much more, percentage-wise, higher percentage, first-time out trainer. And I'm thinking, I'm looking. I said, okay, by Mendelssohn. Here we go with the Mendelssohn again. Looked at the bottom side. Both turf starts were dismal for this mare. First foal, works are okay. There must be a story involved somehow, some way. We saw Schoenthal hit with a firster down at Colonial. That horse took play up here at Maryland Million Day. Just had a bad trouble, Bazy Wazy, or whatever the horse's name is. So this is just kind of reading in things a little deeper, looking for a price. Determined Lily. Not a love kind of a horse, a like kind of a horse, a little sneaky play, but definitely looks like you can depend on Opus 42.
And if you happen to run into Phil Schoenthal before the race, there is a story, and he's a great storyteller.
Okay.
I'm sure he will tell you the rest of the story. Let's move to the outside. That is a 12, L Street Lady for Brittany Russell. Sheldon Russell gets the call. This is a first-time starter out of a mare who was just okay. Second Dam was a stakes winner on the grass.
Yeah, the family's there. Second Dam, one debut turf sprinting, and also that was at San Ysidro, or we show the San Ysidro races here, Tim. And then also went up to be grade 3 stakes place here when coming to the United States. So there's talent there in this family. Munnings, we know, can get a runner to win first time out. The mare was second in debut. There's a lot to like here with a barn that we know that strikes first time out.
Race 3, a nice maiden special weight going 5.5 on the turf for maiden 2-year-old fillies. Race 4 does kick off the Rainbow Pick 6. This one's for maiden 2-year-olds going 1 mile on the main track. The maiden claiming price is $30,000. I put together a ticket. We have a nice carryover. $13,254 carries over to today's card. I put together a $54 ticket this afternoon, and in race 4, I go 3 deep. I use the 1, the 2, and the 6. Race 5, 2 lifetime, 3/4 of a mile on the grass. I was all over the place here. I go deep. 1, 4, 5, 7, and the 10. I threw the 4 in there. Always respect Kathleen DeMasi on the grass. In race 6, 5, 6, and 12. Race 7, I use the 8, 10, and 12. My single comes in race 8. That's on Jamie Ness and to the outside. It's a game time, and Jamie Ness, I think you have that one on top.
Yes,
also, race 9, I use the 2 and the 4 to close out the day. $54 ticket on the Rainbow Pick 6. Good luck if you play along. Nice carryover. You might want to get involved. Race 4, we're going to start with the 5, and this is your top pick. Keith, Johnny, French Fry for Hugh McMahon. J-Ron Barbosa gets the call, gets back to a fast track, and gets back to a one-turn race.
Gets back to a one-turn race. I wasn't terribly concerned about the off-track. I thought that was going to help his chances last time out. He was reported first-time gelding last time out. Little erratic around the first turn. Billy Humphrey had some trouble kind of navigating. The horse was kind of fighting a little bit. You see the short comment getting out at the 3/4 pole. It never really got settled, and just I think that got this horse off of his game. Turning back, a one-turn mile. I think this is going to work. I think Johnny French Fry will be a forward factor a long way in race number 4.
I have the 2 Rotterdam on top. First-time starter for Brittany Russell. Sheldon Russell gets the call. This one, when they debut for Brittany, they're always tough. Going a mile first time out of the box. And my question is, no works beyond a half mile, but as we say, in Brittany we trust. We're going to depend on her here. Her dam did break her maiden going long in her 3rd start, and she was second in a grade 3 going.
Yeah, the dam was right. A maiden special weight winner at Santa Anita. This colt here's another one by Mendelssohn, Half to Verratti, a debut winner last fall at Belmont with a buyer of 83. Very strong buyer first time out. The question, why is this horse in for $30,000? It looks to me, breeding wise and everything like that, there should be a little protect move here. There's not needless to say, she spots her horses where they can win. They know they have plenty of horses to compare with. Tim, you know that each morning when they're going out and working, they can compare apples to oranges. And here we've got Rotterdam in for 30. will have to be used just because of the percentage. I'm going to use this horse in my exactas and tries. I think Duke of Dooley.
Yes,
we'll take a look at that. The 6.
Yeah, the 6. Let's talk about the 6, Duke of Dooley. Blinkers go on for Hammy Smith. Both you and I have interest in this one this afternoon, and is stretching out for the first time.
Yeah, I think this is going to work. The blinkers go on. This horse did a lot of dirty work last time out and held quite well. Just gave way grudgingly the last eighth of a mile. The stretch out here in the third start would be the key.
We have to take a little bit of a break here, and when we come back, we'll talk about the second half of our card. Welcome back to today at the races. Race 5 kicks off, the late pick 5, 3/4 of a mile on the grass. 9 winners, a 2 lifetime for $40,000. We're going to start with your top pick. We're going to start with a video. This is Killy Start, the 1 September 16th, right here at the Laurel Park, where things didn't go particularly well.
No, 7-1 this day for the 40,000, 2 in life. Just Barbosa on had a little bit of trouble here. Worked inside, slightly out at the quarter pole. A little bounce around and a steady. Even that horse to the rail got in a little bit of trouble, the 3 horse. But Killy Start recovers, regroups, keeps on kind of grinding through this final eighth of a mile. Tim, unfortunately, works herself into some traffic through the final 50 or 60 yards you see right here. Just kind of when she started hitting her best stride, she was leveling off. Unfortunately, had to check again late. Killy Start at 6 furlongs a day, I think it's going to work. You see a good try on the 2 turns from an outer post, a middle move, and just kind of a slight flattening. Killy Start has positional speed. We just saw it in that sprint race at Pimlico. Out an extra furlong, I think she can go right up into position just off the leaders by the time they turn for home and bring a finish.
And she is your best bet of the day. My concern about Killy Start is the 1 hole. She's got some races where she hasn't gotten away the best. A lot of horses to her outside, but she certainly is in the mix this afternoon. I have the 5 on top. This is chrome-plated heart for Justin Nixon. Sheldon Russell gets the call. Hey, look, best races of her career have been right here at Laurel Park, going 5.5 furlongs. She gets 3/4 of a mile today. I think that works.
Yeah, they hold the level at the 40,000. And at this 3/4, it's kind of a longer run. They kind of separate. This field will probably be 12, 15 lengths separate him around the turn, just to see the way these 6 furlong races unravel. She has some of the best speed in the race. I think her and In Vain will be the 2 that will have the targets. They'll be out there on the lead. I wouldn't be surprised if Sheldon gets a little bit more aggressive today with chrome-plated heart.
How about the 7? This is a go-go channel. The 7 for Damon Dilodovico returns from a break for the red-hot Damon Dilodovico. 2 and 3 back were pretty good races. I think the 3/4 of a mile may work for this one this afternoon off the layoff.
This is another one I really like. Had a brutal trip. I remember talking to Fisher from Delaware, our chart caller, about this one. Said this horse had a troubled trip. Check had run. So Go Chanel, a little bit of a freshening. Comes to 6 furlongs. I think she's going to bring that perfect bunch. This distance should be perfect for her. Out of that race in August, late August, you've got Downtown Katie Pounding Music. They ran 1-2 in the Maryland Million starter there for the Phillies.
I got to work on my French. No doubt about that. Go Chanel, the 7. Race 5 does kick off the late pick 5. Race 6, we're back on the main track, and this is going 3/4 of a mile, maiden special weight for maiden 2-year-olds, and this is a very interesting race. We've got some first-time starters, Keith, but we're going to start with the 12, your top pick, Prince of Jericho, Sheldon Russell, Brittany Russell, and we have a stat on Brittany Russell.
Stats, they're usually pretty strong with this barn. Past 2 years on the dirt. 5 for 15 is Brittany Russell, 33%. 9 for 15 in the money with the 2-year-old maiden special weight varieties going second time out. ROI hovering just over $2, $2.17. And this one ran pretty well in debut. Had to chase Landon Jack, an experienced horse, had plenty of races under his belt, Landon Jack. Prince of Jericho moved up to that. dropped back a little bit, and kept on churning to the wire. I like the gallop out. I think this horse is going to benefit from debut. Outer post doesn't terribly concern me. We have some scratches in here with the 2, the 8, and the 11. So I think this horse should be able to get position and just kind of grind it out. That last eighth of a mile experience is going to help for Prince of Jericho.
And the extra half furlong should help Prince of Jericho also. I have the 6 on top. This is a Billy Kiss, the 6. Xavier Perez rides for John Ribe. This is my price play of the day. This is the first time out for Robbie. Hits at about 26%. The mare, Blisticus. What a nice mare.
Yeah.
8-time winner, stakes winner more of $260,000. And this one's showing some good drills, including a really nice drill from the gate on October 21st.
Year in, year out, John Robb. It's been a long time. One of our best conditioners of the 2-year-olds. Gets the debut runners to go. No surprise here. Billikis is going to take a little bit of money. I've got line at 6-1. Should show that speed. It's usually customary with these Jerry Robb runners early on. So a good break, and Billikis is into the race with Xavier Perez.
The 13 is Landon Jack for John Salzman Jr. Charlie Marquez has the call once again. This one's been running okay, but hasn't been able to last the trip, running fast and backing up.
I think he's been pretty game. He has just hooked horses that have been well prepared, and they've run big. Johnny Z from Albany,
yes, sure.
Roan Burgundy,
okay,
and Post Time. We saw Post Time yesterday and Roan Burgundy. So he's just been tough luck. Will the case of seconditis still continue with him? He's run too good to lose in these races. Because you go watch him, he's giving effort every step of the way. I think he's going to bring another good run. He gets that clear run from the outside. He'll try to sprint away and clear. Maybe he lasts.
But here's the question: Is it time to maybe try something different? You're on the outside. You've got the best spot to look down, see who's really going to go. You can keep the horse in the clear. If the Billikis gets away, well, he's probably going to the front, and a couple other horses. So maybe a change of taxes. But you're right. I mean, I like outside speed. I'm big on it. The 13 Landon Jack, a nice maiden special weight race here in race number 6. Race 7 is our feature race of the day, going 5.5 furlongs on the turf. This is a first level allowance race for fillies and mares, and we are going to start with the 1 Queen Sheba. This is filly. We have both in the mix here, Keith. But we're going to go back and look at a race from September 30th up there, right here at Laurel Park.
Boy, what an eventful trip. Steadied early. We're going to see that. She got in a little bit of trouble again around the turn. Shuffle back around the 3/8. We're going to watch this horse kind of dragging her way up to contention at the inside. There you go. A little steady, the 3 and the black silks. Charlie DeMario's got himself a little bit of a turf runner here. She likes to sprint, and man, she overcame a ton of adversity in this race September 30th. Was still even surprised to see how much money she took.
Yeah, how about that?
Because DeMario's runners, they get dismissed a little bit. But this one, she's got talent, is able to kind of work out a trip late and surges, closing from some 7 lengths out of it about mid-turn to get up. Went to New York, really didn't disgrace herself in that field. I know she didn't really beat anybody, but hey, the number stuck. She's back on Lasix. She's going in the right direction with some speed to target. I think she'll be able to kind of move into a good position here with Fastlani to her outside. She's going to send away. Caramano should be just waiting for room here, top of the stretch to finish up.
That was a first-level allowance state-bred race
Ruiz,
on September 30th. She goes into open company today. You do have the 12 Gastown Babe on top. This is one of your 2 value plays of the day. This one's for Justin Nixon. Horacio Caramanos gets the call.
Yeah, Caramanos leaving Queen Sheba. Queen Sheba with Jorge Ruiz. Gastown Babe, boy, that was a really eye-catching debut back in June. Now she's finally back sprinting on the turf. I like this move. You go back to the debut. She beats Rambert. Was a strong second to Spun Glass. Spun Glass, a stakes type of filly sprinting on the turf. The experiments, a good try, over this turf course. A couple tries at Colonial, not much. Maybe she just likes the Laurel turf. It's got a good feel to her. There is some speed in here. We talked about Fastlani, who will take care of everybody up front. She circles into this and makes an impact at a price.
The 8 is RB Star, and this is my top pick for Damon Dill de Vigo. J-Ron Barbosa gets the call. Getting on the turf for the first time this afternoon. The breeding works for me here, Keith. and she's coming out of a lifetime best over a good main track up there at Pimlico.
That's the key. There is some turf in there. Nothing huge, but there is some. The Cantheros, though, they can run over anything.
Right.
Broken glass, you name it. Overall, 15% with the turf sprints is Cantheros. A little surprised by this move, trying the turf. They wanted, turf going back a little bit when this horse was in Claudio's barn. We shall see. Bennett's Word came back and ran strong. It was a triple key race last time out.
Race 7, a very, very nice first level allowance race, going 5.5 furlongs on the grass. We'll move to race 8, and this is a starter allowance going 1 mile this afternoon at Laurel Park. This is a starter $5,000 race. We're going to start with our video spotlight of the race on the 2 Kraken Wagon and the 6 Money in the Banksy. And we're going to look at this race from October 9th, and we're going to pick it up into the far turn.
Well, these guys are very familiar with themselves, right? Kraken Wagon, Money in the Banksy. On the outside, it's Game Time. They faced each other, and they've squared off a few times. And taking turns this particular day, Money in the Banksy off a really troubled trip. A good pickup by Bill last time to the 2 races back at Pimlico. You saw it, so hopefully you struck. Blocked upper and rallied inside. Only got beat a half length that. They came back against similar. Showed even improved speed. This horse is getting better and better and better since being claimed by Rodolfo Sanchez Solomon. So Money in the Banksy gets the better. Kraken Wagon still game. You're going to still see him forward with a good break today. These two will provide some flow, and I think they're going to carry that battle a long way. And lurking outside is going to be its Game Time. Proven good enough to beat these horses off of a top last time out at Bend. Comes back to, I think, is a little bit tougher competition, but I think this outside has been okay, fair track. We saw horse loop and swoop 6 wide. It's Game Time from just off of it.
Yeah, the 8, it's Game Time for Jamie Ness. Angel Cruz gets the call. This is my best bet of the day. Hey, look, this is a horse who's done little wrong. He's 3 for 4 here at Laurel Park. He's 1 going the 1-turn mile here at Laurel Park. I'm going to give him the edge at this 9-time winner.
Yeah, he gave up a lot on July 31st when 4 and 3 wide against the same kind of horses. So I think he'll be able to kind of drop in just a little bit and spy those leaders.
Let's look at the 3 real quick. This is Ghost Stalker for Ricky Silliman. Javion Toledo gets the call. Didn't really fire behind a slow pace in that last race. But if he gets the right pace in front of him, he's a player.
Certainly, absolutely. Yet to win over the Laurel Main, but yes, that slower pace just kind of just dulled him. He just moved up slightly around the turn. No kick on from there. Similar for Lost My Voucher. They want a little bit more flow, Tim.
Race 8, nice starter allowance race here at Laurel Park. Race 9, 1.125 on the turf course. This is for maiden fillies and mares, 3, 4, and 5-year-olds. Maiden claiming price $30,000. We'll start with yet another value play from you, Keith. This is the 7, Emerald Lace for Todd Wyatt. Charlie Marquez gets the call. This one is returning from a break, and certainly all her races have been okay. They've been positive.
The debut was really good. Was a little anxious behind the gate, then made a move into that pace during the race, and dead game to the wire. Barn change, a little freshening. We've got 1.125 miles, and she looks like the controlling speed to me in here. You're looking at the bottom side. This mare, Green Velvet, wanted 1.5 miles on the grass. Some of the siblings ran okay going long. I think Emerald Lace, if given a chance to clear early, will relax and take this field a long, long way in race number 9.
The 2 is Candlestick Maker. Bruce Levine, Forrest Boyce gets the call. This one's dropping in class out of that maiden special weight up there at Delaware Park into this maiden 30. 3 back at Saratoga. That was a pretty nice race, but it hasn't run back to that yet.
No, but a little excuse. August 21st, you see the short comment, 3 to 4 wide turns, a bump, then a steady, so never really kind of got on track in there. And then tried a 1 mile and 3/8. The shortening up here today should work. That third 3 race back is key off the break at Saratoga, July 22nd. Miss Monty T came back to run a 77 next time out.
The 4 is a sing-along for Bobby Claceres. This one has a decent race on her form, going 9 furlongs. And Mr. Claceres is having himself a nice fall meet.
He's on a roll. There's no doubt about it. Back to the turf today. Off the turf last time out at Aqueduct, Belmont at Aqueduct, I should say. Sing-along certainly closed up nicely. Distance, no problem.
That will do a race 9 furlongs on the grass this afternoon at Laurel Park. It's time to move on to a lightning round this afternoon, so let's roll it, Olivia. Well, once again, the Cannon for the Cause returns to Pimlico this Sunday. It's a huge event. The kids get to get on the racetrack. The adults get to get on the racetrack. It's for a great cause, and it's a ton of fun. I have to miss it this year, but it is a ton of fun.
I was going to say, you usually are up there, and I think they've got a huge number already signed up and ready to roll. So if you get that opportunity to do so, I don't want anybody to get shut out.
No, absolutely not. And don't make no mistake. Kids on ponies, they might jump, they might do that, they might do this, but they like to go fast. And given the opportunity to get on a real racetrack and lope around there or gallop around there, they are going to take it, and they're going to have a lot of fun. Yeah. As we mentioned yesterday, we're going to mention it again. We're going to move to Mondays starting next week. The Thursdays are gone. That was our last Thursday yesterday. Starting next week, we are moving to a Friday through Monday schedule here at Laurel Park, 12:15 first post. That's November 4th through November 21st. So make plans to join us back here after this weekend next Friday, and then stay with us until next Monday. Well, it's post time, Keith, and I think we saw something special. We thought we saw something special the first time post time ran, but this was just ultra impressive.
Yeah, really good. A little bit of a contested pace around the turn. That was the 7-5 Valentin Day for Rudy Rod. Gets hooked by Roan Bargany, but lurking right there was post time. Eric Camacho right back, similar. It was like deja vu all over again, right?
Yep.
Circles up about 4 or 5 wide and goes into this little bit of antics that he likes to do. Drifts out, wanders in. Boy, there's still just so much to learn for this guy. What the talent is just enormous. 86 Buyer, throttled down for the last 70 yards and just kept on going, was eager through the gallop out. We don't show that, but just wanted to go and go and go out of a Mare Vielson. We remember that runner from around here. Mainly turf, but could handle ground, plenty of ground.
Yep.
So this one certainly looks very apt to stretch out.
It was a good-looking effort. A little wandery in the stretch, but that's going to come. He's never had to run next to horses in the stretch, and maybe a little bit more a horse next to him, a little more focus. But hopefully, no one ever gets real close to him. But it will happen as it goes on. But certainly good-looking so far. Yeah. That's going to do it for you and myself. Dave Rodman will be up with scratches and changes next.
All right, good luck.